Hello everyone, in today's lab I'm going to show you all how to create smoke. In the last video I showed you how to do how to create fire. So very similar, we're going to still use the fluid container and the emitter, and instead of creating flames we're just going to create smoke, and an illusion of smoke vapor basically. So this way you can have both fire and smoke as needed in any of your scenes. And I feel like this is a great way to sort of introduce you to some of the effects. And it's also great that you're able to render them in the Arnold renderer. In a third video, or possibly this one, depending on how it goes, I'll show you some of these quick little effects. Now, I don't think they're going, oh, that might be new. I don't think any of them are going to work with the Arnold renderer. I was trying it before, a little unsuccessful. I know the fire for a fact. I don't even think it works with the Maya software anymore. So they might start to phase these out moving forward, but we'll see what happens. They're still here in the user interface for now at least. So anyway, let's get into the smoke. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my 3D emitter under my effects tab. So go to my effects tab here in the top left corner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to fluids and 3D container. Now from here, the next thing we are going to do is change the size, but actually before we do that, and I'm working off of the notes that I have here. I'm going to go ahead and move this down. It's located in the Canvas shell. It's a little Word document. You can download it or preview it inside of Canvas, either or. But I'm using it as reference for notes to make sure that I get the results that I'm looking for. So in here, we're going to select my emitter. And I'm going to go to my attribute editor, and under fluid shape, I'm going to change these sizes to 40, 60, and 40. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back, and I'm simply going to drag this up. And I was holding the X button just so I could snap it to the grid. I'm also going to do the same with this emitter again. And then we are going to scroll down with the fluid shape, and we're going to scroll down to the contents method, and we are going to change temperature to dynamic grid. Temperature to dynamic grid. And fuel to dynamic grid as well. So your temperature and your fuel will be changed to dynamic grid. Now we're going to scroll down to dynamic simulation. And in here, we are going to change the simulate scale. Simulation rate scale to 2, from 1 to 2. And then we're going to scroll to the contents details, located right here in your attribute editor. And we're going to click on density. Contents details density, and we're going to adjust the density scale from 4 to from density scale is going to be 4, and we're going to change the buoyancy to 6. And the buoyancy is like the faster it rises. Now I'm going to go ahead and change my timeline a little bit here. This is about 5 seconds, 120 frames. I'm going to hit play just so you can see some of these changes as we go ahead and do them. And that's where we're at so far. Now, we're going to continue moving down. We're going to scroll down to velocity. just saw it. There it is. And then under velocity, we're going to change the swirl to 5. And we're going to change the, on turbulence, we're going to change the strength to 0.02. And then we're going to scroll down to fuel. And we're going to change the fuel scale to 10. And reaction speed is going to change to 0.008. Now this is just going to be a plug and play, but that's where we're still looking at. We haven't seen much changes yet. Now we're going to scroll down to the shading menu. And we're going to change the color from, it looks like it's on a light gray. We'll go with that one for now. So you'll see that the color changed. If I need to later, I will go ahead and change it to a darker one. And now, now in here, we're gonna go ahead and change this color to black. So we're gonna make this, we're gonna do a little ramp shader here. That's what this is called. It's basically a gradient. We're gonna change it from black and it's gonna go all the way to light gray. Maybe a little bit, give or take right there. Okay, so okay, we're going to slide down to incandescence. We are going to change this to black, gray, and white. Okay. And now we're going to scroll down to opacity, and we're going to see a line graph. Now in this line graph, we're going to adjust it to look, and I'm just clicking in here to add points. Something like that. And I'm really just following the old Word document I've got here. Nothing's really changed too much in terms of the fluids, at least for this particular lab. And then we want to click on the lighting and do self shadow. So I'm starting to get a little bit in here, but I feel like it's just it needs to be a little bit taller. I'm also going to scroll up here. Let's change this base resolution to 40 and see what happens. Much better. So adjusting the resolution really makes a big difference. So we're starting to get that much more clearer look to it. I want to do auto resize as well. So and let's give us some more frames to play. And it's fairly thin, although I do have the auto resize on. It's doing a pretty good job, but it's still moving a little too quick for it. No. And it's getting a little caught in there. So I would probably have to adjust the scale. Let's just do size 60, 60. I'm just playing around with it real quick. I just want to see. I would just need to start with I have the auto resize, so it's getting a little caught up, but you can see the smoke forming. And I'm going to change this back to 40 and 40 on X and Z and keep scale Y the same. I know it makes it a little bit more narrow, but it's starting to work. Okay. Now if I go in here, one last thing I want to check, and I can always, change the buoyancy to be a little bit lower. Try auto resize off real quick just to see. Okay, so for now I'm going to leave the auto resize off, but you can see the difference in what it does. I'll come back to that in a little bit. So we last left off down here at self shadow. I just wanted to see if there was anything I could do real quick. So we click the self shadow button. Now we're going to switch to the fluid emitter tab. And we're going to change density voxels per second under the fluid attributes to 5. And now we're going to go back to resolution now. Fluid shape 1. Under content properties. Let's turn off this and do 40, 40, 20. It's going to be about the same. So you could do either or. When I upped the resolution just moments ago, I did keep voxel square at 40, or you can turn this off and change the resolution as needed. Just out of curiosity, if I wanted it to match. And it's really spewing out quick. Okay, but let's keep going with it. And that's pretty much all there is to the smoke, creating smoke lab. Now, I want to dig a little bit more into it because it's pretty short to create this, especially because we just created the fire. If you change some of these settings in here, buoyancy, let's change it to 3 and cut that in half and see what difference it makes. I think it's a little slower, but really it's all about the, and then dissipation, let's change that to 15. That's way too much. Let's change it to 1. So now we have our smoke that's dissipating. I think that might even be too much. Let's do 0.5. And then let's do, turn back on the auto resize. But you get the idea. I just would like you to submit a screenshot. I don't know if I like the auto resize on the flame or on the smoke. I think it works better with the huh. I don't know if I like the auto resize there. Let me go back to my dissipation. And then so you can get all types of different effects just by messing around with some of these settings. As you can tell, all I'm looking for in the submission is just a screenshot of your smoke, just like so. Same thing with the flame. You could even import them into the same scene, but that's all I'm really looking for is just your smoke file. You can always change all of these different, if I change the swirl, no, let's change the noise to like 0.2 and just see what that does. And then I really wish the auto resize was working a little bit more. Oh, let's see. So yeah, you have your smoke. Creating a light in the scene will also change how the shadow hits this. But other than that, pretty much all set. If you do have any questions, just let me know. I did that pretty quickly, but it's all in the Word document. Very similar to the flame, and then all you'd have to do is just change your settings if you were looking for different results in terms of rate of speed. If you wanted it to swirl, you could probably get a tornado swirl out of this if you change the swirl to like 100. But feel free to shoot me any messages on Canvas. I hope you enjoyed this video. We now have fire, we now have smoke, and then I'll create one more video and just cover the effects tab on right here. The little fireworks flow. Not sure exactly. We'll take a look at it. And then lightning, shatter for glass, if I remember correctly, and then smoke. I know the fire isn't working well. You know what? Let's just do it right now. Let's create our fireworks and see what happens. So it is working. And then on the fireworks, you don't have to submit it with the fireworks or anything. I just want to go ahead and show you. There it goes. And you can see you get that. Now, I don't know if Arnold will be able to render it. I doubt it. I know the fire isn't working. Oh. For the fire, you need to create a model or some type of way to attach it to something. So fire. But the fire doesn't work in rendering any longer for some reason. Try the shatter. You can play around with this. I just wanted to show this to you while... No. And shard count. Let's just try to apply. I'd have to do a little digging into the shatter tool. It's a little new to me since yeah, okay. So that's how you create those effects, by the way. Just wanted to touch base on them real quick. I'm not grading you on them, but you can play around with them. And one last thing before I dive into is if I go to render, I believe the only way you'll be able to render these is using the... See, the fire doesn't work. The fireworks still work, which is pretty cool. I couldn't get the shatter to work. I'd have to play around with that. Smoke, I don't know if the smoke tool will work. That wasn't a thing for a long time. It didn't exist, so I'm kind of curious about that before I cut this video over. Oh, wrong tab. Effects. That didn't do it. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that smoke tab, but or effect. But just follow the fireworks still work, which is cool. And then the lightning, I think you need 2 objects. There we go. So there's your lightning, and then in your channel box, stop. Attribute editor. There's a way to really play around with these. So you can get some really cool little neat effects. And there's ways to... There it is. So now I can change the different... Same thing with the glow intensity. There's not too much to... play around with. There's like 4 settings. And then I played with the lighting, so it might be super bright, but let's go ahead. Let's see if an Arnold render will work. Something's happening. I think this is just catching, the smoke's catching the light from that. Switch to my rendering tab. Oh yeah. And let's just do that one more time. I just lowered the lighting on it. Whoa, still a lot. Maybe it's the, oh, 0.5. Yeah, and you can start to see that little lightning glow. I'll zoom in on it one last quick little render current frame. And you can get some cool effects, and it animates, so it is pretty neat. Pretty quick way to create some animation for lightning. And then if you wanted to lightning start, set a keyframe, I'll go like, this would probably be pretty quick, but I'll do it in the fraction of 30 frames and change this here. And then I'll go to 60 frames and turn it back and then play it. Oh, my last frame didn't appear to register. So you have a quick little, obviously if you were doing real lightning, you'd want it to be much faster. A frame, 2 frames, 3 frames, 4 frames, 5 at most, I would imagine, you know, because lightning's just, but anyway, just figured I'd show you that. So we know the fireworks still work. We know the lightning still works. And then we have our own little fluid emitter containers. This is why I show this to you, because a lot of these original tools don't really hold up in today's standards, number one, and number two, they're pretty glitchy. I know the Fire for a fact doesn't work with either renderer anymore. Maybe there's some settings I gotta change, but either way, you're gonna get much better results with the Fire that I showed you how to use with the Arnold renderer. That can be rendered with the Arnold renderer. So other than that, I'm just looking for a screenshot of this. I thought I'd just touch base on those effects tabs real quick. I'm just looking for a screenshot of your smoke. Obviously, the higher the res, you know, all these settings can slow down your computer if you increase the numbers too high. But I feel like this is a really simple, pretty much basic process. Make sure I put that Word document in there, not only for my own memory, but to help you guys. So this way, if you did kind of struggle throughout my little video here, you can always reference back to those notes I took for you. It includes screenshots and everything. So if you do have any other questions, let me know. Shoot me a message on Canvas inbox. Hope you enjoyed this lab, and I look forward to seeing you in the next videos. Thank you so much.